Hi, I'm Michelle Brain and I am the midwife hypnotist. And if you can hear some geese going in the background, it's my geese. They're protecting some eggs. So if you hear them going off, you know what they are. And today we're going to talk about vaginal examinations during birthing or while you're labouring. Are they warranted? Do you need them? Should you have them? Well, vaginal examinations can be something that a woman gets comfort from, feeling that she knows where she's going, what she's doing. They can be very different. You can have a doctor do a VE and say that you're 4 centimetres. You can have another doctor come in and do one and say that you're 5 centimetres. And then you can have somebody else do it and say, oh, you're actually 2 centimetres. You can change your cervix. And, you know, it's funny because I remember going back about 15 years and having a midwife absolutely carry on at another midwife, telling her that she didn't know how to do a VE because she'd had done a VE. The lady was 4 centimetres, and this midwife, I wouldn't say was very nice, and I'd hope she's still not a midwife now. And this girl was fairly young and probably didn't have as much experience as her, but I don't think that was an excuse for it. She went in and redid it and then yelled at her, said, she's 6, she's only, the midwife said she was 6. The second midwife said, she's only 4 centimetres, what are you doing? I'm thinking, well, any wonder she would have shrunk because of the tension in that room from that midwife. So is a VE something that you should have during your labour or when you first go into hospital? Well, you know, if you go into hospital, the first thing often they'll want to do is do a VE. I tend to try not to as often as I can, but of course you've got to work within hospital policies and whatnot. So sometimes it can be easier just to have that first initial VE, and then the hospital will stop bugging you about doing the VEs. Now, I have a beautiful technique. It works. I've seen it work over and over and over again. And I actually have a few doctors that I've worked with that now trust the technique and will not do the VE, only because they've seen it work so many times. So during your pregnancy, we set this like an anchor, I guess, so that you're in your trance. And I talk about the sun rising and setting, and that picture in your mind, so that when it's time that you're unsure, you don't know whether to have this VE, you can simply close your eyes and just picture your sunset, and you can trust it. And if your sunset or your sun is directly above you, you know that you're halfway there. Now, I don't like to talk in centimetres because I don't believe we dilate 10 centimetres. We dilate big enough to let our baby's head through, whatever size our baby's head is. So that can be 7 centimetres, 8 centimetres, 9 centimetres, 10 centimetres, 12 centimetres, whatever it is. It opens and pulls up so that the baby's head can come through. So this 10 centimetre that we talk about really, really annoys me because it's not 10 centimetres. It is pulling away so that your baby head can come through, whatever size it needs to be for that head to come through. So we can do VEs, and I've talked about this over and over and over. You know, had women come in that are labouring, they've come in, they've had a VE. One particular, lady sticks in my mind. She come in, she had not dilated at all, but her cervix was paper thin, because when we talk about thicknesses of our cervix and how thick they are, they might be 2 centimetres thick, they might be 1 centimetre, or they can be paper thin, and literally I mean paper thin. So to feel the cervix, I would actually be feeling around the baby's head, and that is actually what I would feel, just that paper thin. So, it comes in paper thin cervix, but not dilated at all. And then proceeds to have her baby 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, later. So, we talk, and they often talk about dilating 1 centimetre an hour. However, I don't think I have ever seen anyone dilate 1 centimetre an hour who believes in their body, trusts in their body, knows how to breathe and relax. I firmly believe that women that dilate 1 centimetre an hour do that because they are told that is what they are to expect. So in their mind, they firmly believe that they have to wait an hour for each centimetre to dilate. And they are telling their unconscious mind, they are believing that this is the way that it is going to be. So that's what they're expecting. Now, obviously, sometimes babies are in a little bit of a different position, the head's turned to the side, and this can slow up the birth a little bit. But they're in that position, and that's fine. That's the position that they're in. That's the position they want to be in, and there'll be a reason for that. However, the women who come in that trust their body, believe in their body, can breathe and feel that calmness. I feel with all the women that I deal with, birth in a different way. They don't wait an hour for every dilatation. They let their bodies nudge into position at home, and that might take a week, it might take 2 weeks, like we talked about before, that period cramp, that annoying little, getting the baby into position, embracing that. They allow their body to do that. So when they actually come into labour, sometimes their cervix is already paper thin and the dilatation just happens. So don't work on 1 centimetre an hour. Work on listening to your baby, being in tune with your body, embracing those niggles, embracing that week before where the baby's getting into position, and you might feel those period cramps, and do your dancing, do your moving, live your life, embrace your pregnancy, because not many women get to give birth 13 times like I did. And I am so empowered by it. I would have another 13 babies. So, you might only get to have 1, 2, 3, 4 babies. So really embrace being pregnant. Embrace having your body in there. Embrace your baby doing that baby dance, moving where it's got to move to. And you will go into labour and you will have your baby quicker than the person next to you who doesn't trust their body, because they're holding on to it. They're going to have the inductions. They're going to have the epidurals. They're going to drag it out by having that epidural. Just trust your body, breathe, and talk to your baby. And you will dilate a lot quicker. So vaginal examinations during birth is something that the hospital policies, that's what they want, but do they really tell us much? Well, I remember that VE and that lady hadn't dilated, and it was another midwife that did the examination, and this has happened over many times. And I remember the midwife saying to me, "Oh, she'll be ages yet." So I think that lady had her baby 20 minutes later. Another one I know about 40 minutes later. So I always listen to the woman. I always listen to my women. What do you think? How do you feel? What do you think you're going to do? I believe in my women. And I am not going to tell them, "You're not dilated yet. We're going to be here a long time." Never, ever would I do that. And I know the last few times I remember I said to the woman, "Do you want to know?" And I said, "You've got no benefit in knowing. There's no reason for you to know. This is something that it's a hospital policy, we can do it, and you don't need to know. Let's just get on and have your baby." And they chose not to know. And why did they need to know? There was no reason for them to need to know, because just allow your body to do what your body's doing. So do you need a vaginal examination during birth? It's up to you. And you have the right to say no. And what is it going to tell us? Probably not much. Listening to your body, doing what your body tells you to do, putting yourself in trance, and just allow it all to open naturally. And surprise the doctors, surprise the midwives, and just do it your way. Check out my website, michellebrain.com, and don't forget birthing in trance, because a trance and putting yourself in a trance can make all the difference. And in fact, I believe it does make all the difference. Cheers.